Hey there. I think I need to whisper because Jesus on a work call, a work Zoom call, plotting and planning about the future of the Hammer Museum, which I should not be a party to. And I certainly don't want to disturb. But people, my primary message today is that sometimes the algorithm is right. That's right. I have zero interest in professional baseball. Or any baseball for that matter. I stopped playing baseball when I was about 13, and the kids started throwing harder, and batting became scary. And I never watched it because it's incredibly slow, and I don't have the attention span for that sport on television. I always dreamed of one of my editing friends editing games together, so each game came off like a scene from Major League. But on YouTube, the algorithm decided to suggest to me a video series called Beat the Freeze. In which case, what happens in Beat the Freeze is that a lone fan of, I want to say, the Atlanta Braves, but that doesn't matter. What happens is it's like one of those things they do maybe in the like 7th inning stretch or something, and it's in between innings, and it's a nice little game. And what happens is a fan starts running across the field, and he gets a big head start, and then the freeze launches out from a sprinting position, from a pre-sprinting position. The freeze goes after the guy, and the freeze is dressed in like a full body silver like spandex suit that even covers his head, and he's got goggles on and gloves, and he runs, and he's given the guy such a big head start. You think there's no way that even the freeze is going to catch up to this person desperately trying to get to the finish line. But every time the freeze overtakes the man, it's always been a man. But what can you expect from a team that goes by the Atlanta Braves? Anyway, seeing the freeze beat these people with such a head start, I can't explain why it brings me such joy. But I'd highly recommend these videos. However, once you see the freeze lose once in a while, the magic really kind of falls away. And the whole freeze costume kind of seems weird and lame. But sometimes the freeze beats you. Sometimes you beat the freeze. Wow, that worked out perfectly. That song just ended. I imagine if you're listening, you desperately want to Google the freeze right now. And, I can't promise that anything that's going to happen on here is going to be more entertaining than Beat the Freeze. Other YouTube things that I've been watching is this guy who's really good at basketball one-on-one, and he does these fancy moves where he like sends the ball through somebody's legs before he like does a fadeaway jump shot. He's called the Professor. It's another. Apparently, YouTube thinks that I'm into watching sports, and I'm not into watching sports. And yet, YouTube has made me kind of into watching sports, though it is, of course, kind of, the sideshow of sports, pseudo sports, if you will. I'm gonna keep trying this person. Don't expect an answer, of course. What would this show be if the first call got answered? It would be a different kind of show. That would essentially make this show NPR. I don't think this person's ready to go live yet, to go public. But I don't know. Hello? Hello? Wait. Is that me? Hello? Yeah, I don't think this person's ready to go public unless they're trolling me right now. Last time I called them, my phone did this strange repeating loop kind of thing. And now I'm wondering if somehow this person orchestrated that. Is it possible? Do they have the technology? I don't know that they do. Who to call these days? So many potential people. Talk to lots of people. There's a potential that that you're bored right now, if you're listening. But I think it's important to embrace boredom. I think enlightenment can be found through boredom. I don't have the science to back that up, and I'm not your goddamn shrink. But it's possible that embracing boredom could grow your brain to the size of the Grinch's heart at the end of The Grinch. I remember a guy in my neighborhood in Columbus, Ohio. He used to walk around the neighborhood in slow motion, where he would take like really long steps, like super long steps and super slow. So you just see him, it would take him like 10 minutes to get like three.
Please leave your message for like 3
steps.
7 9.
Oop. Well, you got some of that phone number, but not enough to actually call the person. Oh, I got a text message. Okay, so we've got a little bit of an update. The person who may or may not be trolling me and is not yet ready to go public, hopefully in a couple days, will go public. And boy, is that going to be a good episode. Personally, I can't freaking wait for that episode. But for now, not ready for that episode. Let's see. Oh, I've got a great idea of some people to call. But you just don't know if they're going to pick up or not. How do you fill your time? This little thing that I'm doing kind of represents life. Here I am trying to fill the space with words, and you're kind of trying to fill your time with space, words, more time. Can space be filled? Hello. How's it going, Sarah? You're on my you're on my talk show. I think there's 2 people listening, and if you don't want to talk, if you don't want to talk on the internet, you can hang up now, and I'll call you another time. I always like to give that option. Okay, good. The name of the talk show is What You Up To, And
I love it.
It's where I call my friends and I say, "What you up to?
Amazing.
What are you doing right now?"
So I'm currently taking a little break from work, sitting outside in our little alleyway that heads to our washer and dryer.
Lovely.
And Emily and I are trying to get some of that vitamin D.
You gotta do that. I did that earlier. Got a good walk in. Are you just kind of laying out, getting your vitamin D?
We're sitting at a table and chair. We actually got a new outdoor feeding area since we're going to be in this for a bit.
Oh, you really like beefed it up? Like made a nice little center?
We beefed it up.
Sure.
Made it nice. And it makes it nicer to sit outside.
You got to be able to sit outside.
Alleyway.
I cleaned the spider webs off of our outside chairs. So I'd say I kind of beefed it up. But also I right before this happened, there's this like tin that I used to just keep random shit in. And it's kind of like it looks like a basket, but it's made out of tin. And it's kind of painted like American colors. Like there might be like
red.
Yeah, you know the ones. And it might be actually like a flag-esque design. I can't remember. But anyway, I had all these old papers in there. Old bills from 10 years ago. Things like that. And fairly recently, before this whole thing started, I took it outside and I burned all the papers outside.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it was really fun. It probably wasn't great for the environment because the tin itself kind of warped a little bit. It felt great. Like I like burned some old like fiction as well. It was like a Burning Man-esque experience just right outside my apartment. And I left all the ash in there because it was like still real hot, like lava. And I didn't want to dump it anywhere. So I just kind of left it there. I poured some water on there. And then it rained the next day. So now I just have like a pool of ash and water outside that like I don't want to touch. And like somebody threw a cigarette in, which must be one of my neighbors because they would have to have a key to the gate to come in and throw a cigarette in there. So it's become a bona fide like gross ashtray. But anyway, so my seating area didn't get beefed up. It got downgraded by me, basically. Because now there's a gross pool there.
It's kind of like an art object reflecting the current times.
Yeah. At the very least, it's a discussion piece. Conversation piece. Do people say discussion piece? Conversation piece, I think.
Yeah. You could see what else gets thrown in there.
Hey, you know what somebody told me once? That you can't a doctor in San Francisco, my old San Francisco doctor told me that you couldn't get vitamin D through food or the sun, only through vitamins. Told me that basically to get vitamin D through the sun, you would have to get like cancerous amount of sunlight.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Too, that like we're not outside enough ever. So like we would need to like live outside to get enough vitamin D.
Yeah.
I mean, like with all things, I think there's a certain placebo effect of it. So I just like to be like, ooh, I'm getting my vitamin D right now.
Right. And then
but I don't really know.
Through like Oprah's The Secret, you are in fact getting vitamin D. If you think you are, then you are. I think that makes sense.
Or I'm getting the same benefits of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because what does vitamin D even do? Does anyone know? I don't know.
just makes you healthy. I
Yeah.
don't know, but so does optimism. So
That's very
there you
true.
go.
Exactly. Have you been making any music in this shut-in time?
Haven't really been making any, but I just released today actually a single
What?
off my EP, which is coming out in April.
Oh my God.
It's
This is an exclusive. This is a What You Up To
yeah.
exclusive. And people, it might sound like we're just pretending, like, this was all orchestrated in order to promote
It's
this.
not.
But this is just the psychic connection. Well, that's fantastic. I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah, just look me up on Spotify. It's my one song.
You
called Nosebleed.
You're on Spotify now. You've made it.
I'm on Spotify now. I've made it to the place where no one gets paid. And
tell the two people listening what you record under on Spotify.
Sarah Coolidge,
okay,
which is my name.
Yes.
And I have a Bandcamp where you can actually buy the music, or just stream it.
Yeah. I don't. Some people have. Emily got my music recently. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Emily. Tell Emily thanks. She's around.
Ryan says thanks for buying this album. She says, yeah, of course. She likes it. She's been playing it.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So have you you haven't been recording then?
No.
Ooh, did you record with my 4-track?
I've been playing around with it. I recorded one song with I'm still getting the hang of it. It feels like I don't really know how to punch in, or if that's possible without it making little
it is such a pain.
Weeks.
Yeah, it's such a pain. I feel like I wouldn't often punch in. I would just do each track from start to end.
Yeah. I feel like you have to be more patient than you're used to being from the technology we have now, which I like the restriction.
Yeah.
But it's also you have to give yourself time and be okay, I'm going to be calm and maybe play this song 20 times to get a good take.
Oh, absolutely.
Or I don't mess anything up.
Well, I feel like it is more okay. So first of all, I do think it would be hard now that you remind me, because I haven't recorded with it in years. And I do think it would be hard to go from a nonlinear recording program like GarageBand or Pro Tools or whatever. It would be hard to go from that to the 4-track. I felt it was so freeing because I was recording with the 4-track for 5 years or something, and then started using the nonlinear programs, and it was oh, this is so easy, and I can have as many tracks, and I can use this one track just for one background vocal and one chorus, whereas with the 4-track, like you said, the limitations really, you want to make each track kind of count.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's more forgiving.
And then you can
because it's kind of it's dirty.
All textured.
It sounds cool no matter what. And you can just turn the volume up and it's distort. It's good distortion, not digital distortion. It's warm, fuzzy niceness.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me of it because I've been playing around with it, and then this whole pandemic happened, and I kind of set things aside.
Yeah.
Literally physically move things so that we had more space for cohabitating.
Sure.
And working from home.
Yeah, well,
need all those surfaces.
we just recently started moving our big long table. I don't know if you remember our big long table in the living room, like off to the side, because
Mhm.
now a new project for Chisa is learning these like intricate hip hop dances that people are
Ooh.
doing. And but the day that Chisa started, it was like a day of exercise. And
Mhm.
I think that Chisa's still recovering at this point. But
Yeah.
but I was still impressed. Like it would take me just from like watching once, I was impressed with the amount like like you could think of it like sheet reading, like sheet reading music, you know? Like it would take me like a year to get that dance down.
So it's really, I feel like even when I'm just like out somewhere and people are dancing and I have them right in front of me and I'm just trying to like mirror them, it
Oh
gets
yeah,
really complicated.
totally. No, I couldn't do it. I would equate it to like uh it's like some kind of coordination of like when I'm drawing and like I just don't understand how people can draw what they see. Like it seems so
Yeah.
simple that I should be able to just like recreate it in front of me, and when you watch somebody who can draw, it's so effortless.
Mhm. I mean, it's the same way with like people who can just like hear a song and play it. Like, I can sometimes like figure out what chords something is after trying a few, but some people are just like, hear a song and
Yeah.
they're like, cool, yeah, I
Yeah.
can play all those changes now.
Yeah, completely by heart, can just hear it. Some people can even just, like, know what key it's in, and,
Mhm.
oh, man, I remember when I used to play piano as, like, a kid, it was
Mhm.
so tedious to learn, like, long classical pieces, like, because I'd have to really do it, like, one measure at a time, like, really painstakingly, like, by the time I finished it, it was just basically memorized. Like, I don't feel like the sheet music was anything, you know. I couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't just look at it, and I would like bring Beatles songs or something into my piano teacher, and she could just sit down and just look at it and play it. My sister was able to do that
Yeah.
in time too, but I just started writing stuff
Yeah.
instead because the tediousness was too much.
Yeah. Like people playing covers and stuff, I'm just like, I don't really like covering songs because you have to learn how to play it.
Yeah,
And then you have to like sound better or like unique
absolutely.
in some way from the
Absolutely.
original.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
I
cool, I could play like a song for you, but it's not going to sound like half as good as if you
yeah.
just listen to the record.
And that is a question I feel that a lot of people are not asking. Like, why am I doing this song? Like, why? Like, I love singing other people's songs for myself, you know, just for the
Yeah.
fun of it. Like, and especially if I really like the lyrics, like, it's just kind of like I like to memorize it and like it just kind of feels like it feels like I'm like kind of experiencing what they must have experienced, you know, something like
Mhm.
that, like I'm getting into their brain. But I totally never understand, like, why do you think we need to hear your version of this, Louis Armstrong? Classic person.
Yeah.
But
Like, yeah, it's kind of a bold version to be like, oh, you need my version of this.
yeah,
Like, you know, like Bob Dylan didn't quite get it right,
yeah.
you know?
And in that sense, you know, I mean, he did not sing very well, but that was kind of
Mhm.
the charm. I don't know. Often I do find that YouTube really agrees with these people. Cause like,
Mhm.
if I put an original song out, it's not gonna get, even a tiny little percentage of the views that somebody doing a cover of like a Sia song is gonna get.
Those people make like good money sometimes.
Yeah, it's true. It's the only
You know how
entertainment
they're
that's left now.
they're paying for the rights. It's like how, have you noticed how like every movie that comes out is like a remake?
Yep.
Like you still get a few originals, but like everything's either from a book or like has name recognition somehow.
Yeah. People
It's
just
just like
want
easy,
what they
easy
know.
money.
We all want what we
Mhm.
know. We like the things that we like. We don't want to have to learn a new thing. When I was like a little kid, I didn't want anything new on anything, you know? Like I
Oh,
wanted
like
a
food.
yeah, I wanted like 2 pieces of bread, piece of American cheese in the middle. I didn't want anything squishy in there added on.
Mhm.
There was too many things in the world. Just too much stuff. Let me take it one at a time. That's kind of what my thought
Yep.
was. My brother used to get so mad at me when he would go to like McDonald's or something for the whole family. And like my order would
Mhm.
be like, I want a cheeseburger, plain, no.
It's nothing.
And you'd be like, I don't wanna ask them for that. Like like I don't
Like
want
that's embarrassing.
they're gonna think I'm such a nerd. It's like the equivalent of like now asking somebody to get like a coffee for you at Starbucks and being like, I want it to be this, this, and this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I always got extra pickles on my burger, but that was my only kind of
Condiment?
change from the menu.
Okay. So you were fine. You could take on the world.
You know, I like to think it helped me in some way.
Yeah. Like, show me what you got, world. You
Mhm.
got some pickles? How about this? Give me more.
Yeah. I can take even more of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys been like walking around much? Like, are people out and about in Oakland or Berkeley?
Yeah, we've been walking around some. Like we have a park a few blocks away that we go to, and it's pretty dead over. And then like very few other people. I think if you were to go, I've heard like if you go up into like Tilden or up in the hills to like the actual parks, it's kind of a mess up there. Like a lot of people, and then like trying to stay far apart from each other. So
Yeah.
we haven't really gone to like the hot spots
Oh yeah.
of the Bay Area outdoors
My neighborhood
regions, but
is I feel like everyone's getting antsy and they're out and about just walking because we don't know what else to do for exercise. But like even not like because I won't even go on the main streets anymore. And
yeah,
I'm just walking back and forth quite a bit.
yeah,
Just a lot of up and down my street, like listening to a podcast the moment it comes out.
yeah, totally. I think there are going to be a lot of. I'm just wondering what like culture is going to come out of this moment, and like a lot of like people writing and making movies about walks,
Yeah.
or like, you know, like how has this altered what we find interesting or what we find like relevant to our lives?
Yeah. Well, I finally like I've gotten back into like fiction writing right now. Like
Oh,
long
good.
pieces that I had put away for a while just because it's like it's hard in normal life to concentrate on like a long piece that you've been working on for a year. Like you'll just lose interest
Absolutely.
in it because there's so many other things happening. And now it feels like I would be a fool not to take this time to work on it. Um, and it's been
Yeah.
great because I'm actually writing about not this. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
started
good.
it years ago, so it feels like a nice escape of just like
Yeah.
writing about something that I was thinking a lot about years ago. But so it's been nice. Are
Yeah.
you reading anything specific right now?
I am. I'm reading a book that hasn't come out yet because
Ooh.
it's a book that my press is publishing in the fall. It's called That Time of Year, and it's about this like French family, and they stay in their like vacation town like one day too late, like into like September 1st, and the town just totally alters on September 1st because like all the tourists have gone home and his family disappears and he's looking for them. And I just like how it's like this wacky sense of like you only see this place during like the summer when all the other tourists come. But what happens on September 1st?
Is it like ominous? Is it like is it supposed to be kind of spooky?
It's a little spooky in that it's like weird and you don't really trust any of the townies who like live there year round, and they have like weird customs that you don't really understand.
Now, is it more like literature, or is it like Stephen King-esque? Okay. Yeah, because most of the stuff
it's more literature.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's it's good. It's kind of fun to like read things where people can like shake hands and like be close to each other and forget about the fact that we're all in isolation.
Yes. Yeah, I feel that way every time I watch any kind of movie or anything. I'm just like, whoa, look at that. Look at that. Those two people walking around together.
Have you seen people have been posting pictures of like different album covers where they've like spaced out the people 6 feet apart? They're like alternate album covers for this time. It'll be like Abbey Road, but it'll be just like two of them spaced 6 feet apart crossing the road.
Yeah, that sounds. I could see like the Weezer's Blue album.
Oh yeah,
could do that one pretty
easily.
Gotta
space those people out.
Yeah, because it's already like a blue screen. That would be an easy one. If you're out there, people, do that one.
Yeah, if you've got the time, which we know you do.
I still find that people don't have the time. I am like feeling more like a like I already knew I was kind of a, not like with it socially, but still like I'm constantly like being like, hey, you want to watch this movie together and chat because we don't have anything to do, right? And they're like, what about next week? What about like
oh my god,
I'll see if I can fit it in next week. What do you think of that?
It is funny how like people compensate for not having plans by like making Zoom like appointments to hang out, and like I don't know, Emily's family has been like found a way for us to play bridge virtually.
Oh, yeah, actually Chisa's family was talking about that.
Yeah, so we have like a bridge date with them on Wednesday night, and it's like
fun.
Now, like, if people want to talk to me Wednesday night, I'll have to be like, sorry, I'm busy.
Can't do it. Got stuff. Got my weekly bridge game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm reading. Did you read the Topeka School?
The Topeka School? No. Ben Lerner, says Emily.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I guess it's got a lot of hype going. It's okay. I'm enjoying it.
Cool.
Let's see. What else? You read books. Did you read what's it called? Everything Under? You heard of this?
No, I haven't.
Daisy Johnson.
Daisy Johnson? Remember? Everything Under?
Yeah.
No, we don't know it.
Well, I guess you're reading mostly books that are soon to be published.
It's mainly that like I read so much for work and it's all like in translation that I feel like really out of the loop with like American or English language originally books. Emily's much more clued into that. But I try to like take breaks from the like translated literature thing and read other stuff.
It does happen that way where like the strange world that you're immersed in, you become you lose interest in it almost to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever I'm touring with Everything Is Terrible, there's this whole world, which is why Everything Is Terrible can tour and is popular, of, you know, people who really are connoisseurs of strange VHS and rare strange outsider videos and stuff, and I know like nothing about it, like zero. I know nothing, and I know nothing about the movies because I don't do any of the editing or collecting or anything. I grumble.
You just perform.
I just perform. I just write and perform. Just do the live stuff, and I disappoint so many people at the merch table where they're like, "Oh, that thing and the thing," and I'm like, "I don't know, but yeah." And I point them to somebody else.
Like I'm more qualified to have your job than you are.
And they are.
It's awkward.
They truly are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that way often.
Yeah.
I talk to people who are into something that I'm like repping, and I'm like, oh yeah, you actually know more about this.
Yep. Yeah. Or even just like touring when you're playing music live a lot. I just stop thinking of bands as like good or bad. Because I like you're seeing so many bands that you're just like, oh, the bass is cool. Didn't like the vocal tone. Drummer was adequate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. You kind of, I get that sense with like reading sometimes where I'm like, I read a lot of adequate things, and like rarely does something like upend me, you know?
Has anything recently?
Trying to think if anything's blown my mind.
I've been watching so much stuff that when somebody asks me that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I watched yesterday, even. I can't remember. Probably some stupid TV show. Ooh, speaking of TV shows, are you still watching The Circle? Did you finish The Circle?
Finished The Circle.
I feel like you're the only one I've talked to who has also watched the whole Circle with me.
Yeah,
strangely.
It's a great show.
Oh, it is so addicting.
And it's so wild how it like is about people in isolation.
Oh, that's true.
And like came out before, like with time for us all to watch it.
I watched it before I had heard of it.
Go in.
Before I had heard of coronavirus, I watched all of The Circle.
Yeah. And I remember being like, that's so wild. They have to like stay in their apartment.
Yeah.
Like do things all day.
Yeah, it seemed so kind of like lonely, which is why they would get so excited about like texting somebody hello, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I should say hi to this person, or I'm going to ask them what they think of so and so being eliminated. Who is your favorite? You watched the Brazil one. I didn't watch that. I only watched the I guess it was
actually
American.
Didn't watch the Brazil one yet.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you mentioned that.
I found the British one. Like, I guess it's all based on a British one, which isn't available. But I like went on Reddit or something and found some link.
Oh, you tracked it down.
Safe enough.
Yeah.
And watched like a couple episodes of the British one, and that was interesting just because British people are different. And and they had slightly different rules. Like instead of ranking the participants, they just give them stars, like
Ah.
out of 5 stars, and then they're ranked by like how popular they are.
Oh, I
But
see. America
it's just like,
goes right to the jugular.
yeah, it's
Just
not
like,
like, oh, I have to put this one above this person. It's like, well, this one got 2.5 stars, and this person got 3 stars from me.
you know what
But
I
you're
was
not like explicitly saying like
yes.
this person's
It's-
worse than this person.
Yeah, totally. Because it doesn't make any sense either way, I guess. It's just a slightly meaner way to do it, which is so
Yeah.
strange. I found it so weird that like everybody in the circle, honestly, even people pretending to be someone else, were still, for the most part, it didn't feel like they were like strategizing that much. It felt like
Yeah.
they genuinely had some kind of like complex moral system of judging people for like, and no one could quite define what their system was. It wasn't like that person was the coolest. It really felt like it came down to some kind of strange moral ranking of just like, that person seems like a good person. Shuby seems like
Yeah.
a good guy.
And some person were still like, oh, that person saved me in the first round
Yeah.
before they even knew me. So like based on just my photo, essentially, like
That
they
is fake.
judged me to be worth keeping. So like I owe them.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's really arbitrary. And
It
weird.
was so strange, but like, and I think being in that kind of isolation, they really like started maybe to believe it. Plus, since the reward was very real, but I was just surprised there wasn't more like, even I remember like near the end, was Joey the kind of like Jersey Shore dude?
Yeah,
Joey, I remember near the end, like, and I think he might have ended up he's trying to come up with the final ranking system. And like, you don't know what they never really find out. Well, I can't exactly remember, but he's doing the final ranking things, and Shuby is his dude, right? Like, him and Shuby are just bros for life. And has kind of a decision to make. And I feel like he was the only one considering this, really, of just like, maybe now's the time to give Shuby a bad ranking so as for me to win. You know what I mean? Because like, if everybody, but then at the same time, you never know with the circle. The circle might have then made it public what everybody ranked everybody as, and then that would have destroyed the Shuby Joey alliance. Anyway, man, it's a complicated game.
I kind of wish they had kept it going till there were fewer people, just because I wonder if people would have started to turn on each other and feel more like the pressure of like, this is a competition.
Yeah.
Because it felt like, because they kept adding people, they kept like feeling like less of the pressure of like, oh, I need to start like, I have an alliance with all these people, but now I need to actually like turn on one of them.
Yeah. No, there's so many things that like, another thing that was strange was like, okay, so when you get eliminated, you get to meet one person because they don't know who anybody really is. And so you get eliminated and you get to like have like, you actually get to go to the apartment of anybody you want and see them for who they really are. And like, sometimes they would go to somebody's apartment and find out it's a completely different person. They were just catfishing. And then they wouldn't tell anybody. Then they could make like a message to the rest of the group, and they would just be like, whoever I met was, they'd just be like beating around the bush. And it was just like, why?
That was in the contract or the rules somehow. Like how could they have prepared? Like, it just felt like they had to have been told to not.
Yeah, there was probably tons of unwritten rules. By the controller, by Big Brother. How about the guy who went on with his mom?
Oh, they were not to my liking.
I was not into them either. It
It
was a
was just
weird group.
weird.
It was
It was
so
like
weird.
it wasn't really explained like why he was there with his mom and like what she added or didn't add, and like
Yeah,
I
it didn't
feel like
work.
it just like their personalities were kind of gross together.
Yeah.
And it was just like, look, like his mom's cooking for him.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, like that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I guess. But
And
like
he would be
also,
like,
this is
he would be like, "Mom, you don't understand. That's not how people talk." And then he would say like some
yeah.
dumb thing, and he'd be like, "That's how people talk." And
You kind of also expected that she would like help him talk to women better.
right.
But
Well,
she,
that's
like,
what she kept
really
saying.
didn't.
She kept saying, like, even in their like exit video, she was just like, "We were quite the twosome. Like, I could tell him how to talk to the ladies, and he could tell me how the hip kids are speaking." It was like none of that ever happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that was kind of a fail.
it was a total fail. It really culminated when they went to visit what's her name? Sammy. They go to visit Sammy after they get eliminated. I think that's who they visited. And
I think so.
and they like bust in and they're like, "Look, it's me and my mom." And she's just like, "Oh, that's weird. It's not like super weird. It's like just like I can't put my finger on why that's so weird." It's like
It's
not
more like,
shocking.
that's weird that you came up with this idea and thought it would be like such a dramatic, cool idea. It's not weird in the way you want it to be.
No, it's not like it's me and the entire 1997 Chicago Bulls. Like,
yeah, that would be great.
It's just me and my mom.
Yeah. You know, they kind of had something like that in the British show where one of the people like was there with her baby and she was just like, "No one knows I'm here with my baby," or that like I have a baby. But then like she like won't be there for whole like group conversations because she's like putting her baby down, and people will be like, "She seems super like elusive."
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's the weird thing about it is like the catfishing thing, people are suspecting that. They're suspecting that perhaps you're not who you say you are, but no one's like suspecting that maybe your mom's hanging out there because like it's, you know, it's not like something you're suspicious of. It's just it's just an add-on. Like they didn't know that what's his name was in a onesie, but it's not like like that.
Right.
That was the big giveaway.
Right. Exactly.
I loved the like kind of the like little roasts that the host was doing, the little like mean comments. Whenever they'd say something, she'd be like, "Okay, Joey," or or like, "Yeah, and please, why don't you put a shirt on?" Or it's just like weird stuff.
And
like
she loved making comments about like, "Guess you had to bring your mom though."
Yeah.
Like, you know, about that dude.
It would have been great if they had like a PA system, so like they could hear her making fun of them in real time. I think that would have been like helpful, kind of, because like they would have had to deal with the digs in real time, but then they could have learned how they were coming across.
Yeah, maybe all like improved a little bit.
Yeah,
tried to be better people.
They really were trying to be fairly good people. It seemed like.
I was surprised by how earnest the show was.
It was so earnest.
People really believe.
It really made me realize like that a lot of people really kind of view social media that way. Of just like, this is it. This is me. This is real. I'm a good judge of people. And I'm a good person. and I'm living my best life.
Absolutely. And even people who don't like social media, like Shuby,
Yeah.
are like, but I'm still like, I'm going to be really real.
Yep.
And I can judge who's really real.
Yeah, he was
but
super
not really.
judgmental.
Yeah.
He was and just probably the worst judge of who was real, like who was catfishing and who was not.
Mm-hmm.
The most naive young Shuby.
Young Shuby. Oh man. What have you been watching these days?
I've been watching this show called Devs, which is progressively getting worse. Nick Offerman's in it, and he plays like a tech guy who's basically trying to create this technology that will like it's a little unclear. Maybe it like maps the universe and all of the past. I don't know.
Oh.
But it's starting to get obnoxious. What else am I watching? I'm trying to watch Westworld, but that's terrible.
Did you watch that Tiger King documentary everyone's talking
oh my
about?
God, it's all I can talk about. The Tiger King is the most amazing show ever. It's the most tragic show ever. It's the funniest show ever. It's nonstop shocking, just shocking. But yeah, if you can stomach it.
We had to stop partway through the second episode because we were watching it like at nighttime.
Yeah.
And Emily was just like, this is too much right now.
Yeah, it sticks with you. And the second episode really starts with a bang, from what I remember.
Yeah.
That's when what's her name? Loses something. No spoilers.
Something important.
Something very important. And yet still, like everyone else, is a loyal Tiger King follower.
Yep. Comes back to work like 5 days later.
I am telling you, that is a running theme of that show. Of people.
Oh, yeah?
Of just people just being like, yeah, I built him this house for $4,000. Should have cost $100,000. And then the person's like, but why did you do that? And they'll be like, oh, because I got to pet a tiger. And it'll it's just like constant. And one guy's got like 12 wives, and they're all like, yeah, he treats us really bad, but yeah, we get to pet tigers. It's really the strangest thing in the world. I just didn't know that like that is one of the best ways to start a cult, is having a tiger. But it is hard to stomach.
Like at the same time that you're like, gross that all these people are taking selfies with these little baby tigers and like how awful it is for them, you're also like, as a viewer, like, oh, that little tiger is so cute.
Yeah, you know what we need right now in this isolation? I want little tigers so bad. I think one of the people, my friend, like sent me this text quote like of the Tiger King, and it's just like it's one of the characters in it is just like briefly on camera and just says, my favorite kind of animal is a baby tiger. I just love the idea. It's like the people that are just like, I like baby Jesus. Like, it's such a funny designation of a kind of animal.
For sure.
Well, I would really suggest, again, yeah, maybe not great like nighttime viewing. And unfortunately, it really does get dark, like as you could imagine. It gets darker and darker.
The trailer seemed to hint at that.
Yeah, you do kind of leave on a major bummer, and you're kind of like, that's it. But it is just, I mean, Hamlet ends with a major bummer too. And
it sure does.
Also a story about a king.
Yes, a different kind of king, but
yeah.
Wow. Never heard someone compare it to Hamlet. That's good.
I honestly think Joe Exotic is the greatest character in the history of documentary film, narrative film, and maybe literature. It's like all I can think about.
You're like, Jesus, instead of going to school, you should just watch Tiger King over and over.
Chisa definitely made it all the way through the Tiger King as well, and was a little pissed about the bummer of an ending, but nonetheless, I think it's been really funny too because like we've been doing so many Zoom conversations with Chisa's family, like both sides, and inevitably somebody's asked like, "What are you guys watching?" And I'm always like, "Tiger King. You guys should watch Tiger King." And she's like, "I don't know that you're gonna like it." And I'm like, "Nonetheless, I would love to hear your opinions on the Tiger King. So please watch the Tiger King." Like trying to get like 80-year-old grandparents to like, just check it out. I just want to know what you think of the Tiger King. Chisa's dad, Reese, was just like, we tried to watch it. I thought it was scary. I was like, yeah.
I mean, that's not wrong.
No, it's not wrong. It's absolutely not wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hey, I should get back to work.
Hey, you ended up being the entire episode. So
great.
Thanks so much for taking a break to talk to me. It was really fun. I'll check in again real soon. I'm glad you guys are safe. Killing it.
Yeah, same goes for you guys.
Yeah.
If you want to Zoom, we'll schedule you out a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to I'll write you in my schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds great. All right. Watch the Tiger King. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Well, that was nice. Everybody go to Sarah Coolidge on Spotify and listen to the new track. Sarah's a great musician, great songwriter. That was super fun. Hope everybody's doing well. Beat the freeze, everybody. Beat the freeze.